I'm Marc Dresner, and this is Research TV, delivering the insight scoop from research leaders and experts. Joining me today is Ben Smithee. He is the CEO of Spych Market Analytics. Ben, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
How much progress do you think that market research, which is known as a fairly conservative industry, has made on the technology front?
We've made, as an industry, a tremendous amount of progress really rapidly. I mean, our job is to sort of test and validate, and by nature, that's who we're going to be as an industry. So you can't really fault us in the nature of the beast, but I do think that we're not as far as we could be, but I wouldn't say we're necessarily behind, right? As we start to see this next generation of researchers jump into the game, that's going to change the whole persona of marketing research. But if you look at mobile, I think maybe where our shortcomings are as an industry is like mobile. For example, a lot of people initially viewed mobile as another way to survey consumers, another way to ask people, but they forget about the whole value of mobile, of understanding how it's changed consumer life. It's the three things that you'll run into your burning house for, your pets, your photos, and your phone. And now the 3 Ps, your phone is actually taking care of your photos too. So it becomes increasingly more valuable. It's also the same thing, that when you are late to work 20 minutes and you're in traffic, it's the one thing you'll turn around and go back to your house for and get because you can't live without it. Right. It empowers your daily life. And so when we look at mobile as much more than just a way to survey consumers, but a way to understand their daily lives and how they live their daily lives and how, the passive listening aspects of mobile, I think, are really cool.
What's your take on gaming's potential for research?
Well, I don't see them as separate. I don't see social as different than gaming and gamification. I don't see mobile as separate than I think we start focusing on channels as the subject instead of focusing, the subject doesn't change, it's still understanding the consumer.
Right.
It's just mobile as an asset, or an aspect or an attribute of understanding that consumer. Asking things in a traditional way or going about understanding in the traditional way, it's not a natural fit anymore. It used to be very natural, it was a natural fit for things, right? Now you look at gamification, you look at things like that. I think sometimes we place too much emphasis on things that are not really the focus, and we make them the focus, the channel and the technology or whatever it may be, when we really should be looking at how does that help us understand the consumer? How can we apply this to help us understand the consumer? And I think if we don't look at it and place so much emphasis as we have to buy into mobile, or we have to buy into gamification, or we have to buy into social media, then we can be quicker to adapt and adopt things in the way in which they should be used versus just saying, oh, I'm scared of them because I can't go all in on mobile, I can't go all in games. But I think if the message is no longer like that, if we have a very targeted thing, and it's an influencer-based economy, an influencer-based consumer purchase process, where if we form relationships and we understand the key influencers that drive marketing and drive consumer behavior, that's very qualitative, that's understanding, that's telling the story. It's what we need to understand is the consumer story, not necessarily like, it's not just simple as do they want red or do they want blue. Pharma's been doing it for a long time. They focus on the KOLs, the key opinion leading physicians, because they're the ones that drive treatment. They're the ones that drive that. Well, it's no different in the consumer space. That's where I think we get very qualitative in nature, and that's where we have to understand the consumer story and understand those influencers. As a function, let's look at the social piece and the mobile piece and the neuroscience piece, and we'll get galvanic skin response, and we'll do all of these things, and together that's how we'll form the holistic picture. Like, it's not one or the other. It's, let's take the aspects of this part of understanding the consumer where he or she goes online, but then when she goes to the gym in person, we want to understand how she functions, how she walks through her day, and that needs to be more ethnographic. And then we do something, well, she's back online again, well, she's driving, what's mobile. People forget, like, everything becomes a mobile device. Mobile is not just your phone anymore. Your car is a mobile device. It's connected to the web, it's got Bluetooth, it's talking to you, it's fulfilling needs, so it has need fulfillment. Automobiles are mobile now too. Are we thinking of those as a channel for research?
I think you've certainly given us a lot to think about, so I want to thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, appreciate it.